They all face the end. A young man left to rot in a foreign prison. A queen walking toward a throne that could become her execution block. A preacher staring into the faces of his own murderers. Their stories are separated by centuries, but in those final moments, they shared a terrifying choice. A choice that unlocks a forgotten secret about what faith really means when everything is on the line. What if the secret isn't a guarantee of rescue, but a perspective that changes everything? Let's start with Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers and falsely accused, he was thrown into a royal dungeon to be forgotten. From his perspective in that darkness, the dreams God gave him as a boy must have felt like a cruel joke. This was his end, abandoned and left to die. Centuries later, Queen Esther faced a choice between certain death for her people and probable death for herself. A royal decree called for the annihilation of all Jews. Her only option was to approach the king uninvited, a crime punishable by immediate execution. Finally, there was Stephen, a man full of faith, dragged before the same council that condemned Jesus. He knew it wasn't a trial. It was a formality before a lynching. Instead of pleading for his life, he preached a sermon that sealed his own fate. With his eyes wide open, a prison, a palace, and a courtroom, all heading to what looked like certain death. This is where everything pivots. The choice they faced wasn't between life and death. The choice was this. Will you trust what you can see? Or will you trust who you can't see? This is the secret. Faith isn't believing God will get you out of the fire. It's believing God is good in the fire. Joseph endured, choosing to believe God was still good, even when his life was objectively horrible. Esther surrendered her survival, declaring, "If I perish, I perish." Her faith wasn't in a guaranteed outcome, but in a good God, no matter the outcome. And Stephen, as the stones were being raised, gazed into heaven and saw the glory of God. His faith didn't save him from death. It gave him a vision of glory right through it. Do you see the pattern? The outcomes were wildly different. Joseph was dramatically rescued and promoted. Esther was delivered, and her people were saved. Stephen was martyred. Promotion, deliverance, and death. 3 different results. But the faith was identical. True faith is the anchor that holds us steady in the storm. It's the unwavering belief that God's purpose is greater than our pain, and His presence is enough, even if His rescue doesn't come the way we hope. We all face ends, a medical diagnosis, a shattered heart, a financial collapse. In those moments, when hope is gone, you're presented with the same choice. Will you trust your circumstances, or will you surrender to the character of a God who is always good? That surrender, that radical trust, is its own victory. It brings a peace that doesn't make sense and reframes your suffering, not as a sign of God's absence, but as the very place His presence becomes most real. What end are you facing right now? Share in the comments how this idea of faith might change your perspective. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that uncovers the hidden truths